Lovely kids! Hey baby! I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spot. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. I'm a very special pot, that's true. Here is an example of what I can do. I can turn my handle into a spot. Tip me over and pour me out. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spot. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. I'm a very special pot, that's true. Here is an example of what I can do. I can turn my handle into a spot. Tip me over and pour me out. The Little Teapot Story. Once upon a time, in a cozy little kitchen, there was a small teapot named Tilly. Tilly was a happy little teapot with a shiny, bright, golden spot and a handle that sparkled in the sunlight. She lived on a shelf next to the stove, where she could watch all the exciting things happening in the kitchen. One day, as Tilly sat on her shelf, she heard a loud rumbling noise coming from the stove. She peeked over the edge of the shelf and saw a big pot of soup bubbling and boiling on the stove. Tilly was so excited to see all the delicious vegetables and noodles swirling around the pot. Suddenly, the pot of soup started to overflow and hot soup spilled onto the stove. Tilly knew she had to do something to help. With a determined look on her spot, she jumped off the shelf and landed right in the middle of the soup pot. The soup stopped boiling, and Tilly was proud of herself for saving the day. The next morning, Tilly woke up to the sound of giggling and laughter coming from the kitchen. She looked around and saw a group of mice playing with the pots and pans. Tilly knew she had to keep an eye on them to make sure they didn't cause any trouble. As the day went on, the mice started to get into more and more mischief. They climbed up the shelves, knocked over jars of spice, and even tried to ride on Tilly's handle like it was light. Tilly was starting to get frustrated with all the chaos, but then she had an idea. She filled herself up with water and whistled loudly to get the mice's attention. The mice stopped what they were doing and turned to look at Tilly. She poured out a stream of water, creating a mini water slide for the mice to play on. The mice squealed with delight and spent the rest of the day sliding down Tilly's spot and splashing into a bowl of water. As the sun started to set, Tilly felt happy knowing that she had helped the mice have fun and exciting day in the kitchen. She settled back into her shelf, feeling proud of herself for being such a helpful teapot. From that day on, Tilly became known as the teapot who always had a trick up her spot. She continued to watch over the kitchen, ready to jump into action whenever there was a problem or an adventure to be had. And every time she poured out a cup of tea, she would think back on all the fun and excitement she had experienced in her little kitchen home.